Hello, friends. How are you doing today? So nice of you to join me here on my Twitch stream. Actually, let me bring it up. There we go, beautiful dashboard on my phone. Excellent. If you haven't hung out with me before, my name is Mark Mandel. I do developer advocacy for Google Cloud. I have a cup of tea that's very important. Though I don't know why it says, do you want... It says here, lovely, what was that? Did I hear tea on this side? Which I feel like is useless. Or did somebody say tea? Because don't other people want to see that? I don't know. Or do I want to see it? It's very important. Anyway, what are we working on today? Let's flip over. So, strangely enough, working on Agones. So weird. Who knew? And where were we? So the other day, I got started on this FAQ based on some other work that we'd done. Me and another teammate inside Google had actually started this sort of as an internal doc with some internal stuff on it. And I looked over it and I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff on here that could just be really useful externally. So started kicking that into different sections, and we got a good way through it. And there's some really good content in here. So I figured I would just kind of continue working on this and talk through it. If you have thoughts or feelings on some stuff that might be useful in here as well, please definitely shout out. Would definitely love to hear that from you as well. Or if something I've written also doesn't make any sense, please feel free also to shout out and say, hey, Mark, that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? So I actually have some stuff before. So we were talking previously about a really fun topic, which was how can expose information? Oh, good. I'm writing the language that is good and stuff. Well, let's pop on that. We also have the new version of IntelliJ running today, which is also very exciting. Version 2020.1. So I guess we'll have a look at that too while we're in there, because why not? All right. So how can I expose information from my game server binary to an external service? That makes more sense. This information. Okay, so we were talking about this last time actually, and this is super interesting. And a question that comes up regularly, which is like, I want to say, be able to query whatever game servers are running a particular map, or like, when a particular number of, I don't know, depending on your game sort of design, lots of interesting things. Maybe your game gets played like a certain number of rounds, and you want to expose the number of rounds that are in there and to outside metrics or outside systems that can do things. So how can do that? So you can actually do that with custom labels and annotations through the SDK label and annotation functions, which is really cool. This could also be used for another thing, which is, what if my game server requires more states than what Agones provides? I.e., for example, ready, allocated, shutdown, etc. Can I add my own? So this is actually also a really good question in that, but the answer is kind of exactly the same. If you want to track custom game server states, then you can utilize the custom the set label, and there we go. I can actually steal that. The game server client SDK set label and set annotations functionality to expose these custom states to outside systems. Just go through the API and can pretty much pretty much the same double and it can be used for games like game specific state integrations with systems like matchmakers and more. So if you want to track custom game server states, then you can utilize the game server custom SDK label functionality to expose these custom states to the outside systems. Fire your own labels and annotations. This could potentially also Okay. Be utilized with. Sorry, I was seeing messages from friends. Utilized with. Yeah, the actual. Oh, yeah. Actually, this is an interesting one. Reference. Perfect. Game server allocation. Where's what do we want? Required or preferred label selectors. Yeah. Custom labels could also utilized with this way, game server allocation, required and or preferred label selectors. To further refine ready game server selection and allocation. I think that explains that reasonably well. So like what I'm saying here is so basically if you wanted, let's see if I can make this, I just want to make sure I'm making this sense. So basically you can use the game server client SDK set label or set annotation to expose these custom states to outside systems via your own labels and annotations. This information is then queryable by the Kubernetes API, so you can talk to the Kubernetes API and therefore get that information. Custom labels could also be used with game server allocation required and or preferred label selectors. So that actually means that what you could do, which is, I actually think this is really cool. If you had your own, say you had your own game server state, where you're like, here's a classic example, like map loaded. Think of that, like map loaded. No, actually, that's a bad example. Let me think about this. Map loaded is actually a good one. You could actually do that where like you could specify whether players should join yet from the matchmaker, whether it sees that it's map loaded or not. Now let's think. What I was actually thinking is more like if you had something post ready. I'm just trying to think if there's kind of no point sometimes of not having it post ready, or for whatever reason you had a state where you were like something more than just ready that happened maybe sometimes or not always, or I don't know, something like that. You could actually not just say like game server allocation on a fleet selector, but you could have your own custom label that only happens at runtime and therefore narrow your pool even smaller. So you can do some clever things. So that is also a good question. I had this from before. Is there a good example of Agones and Open Match working together? Yes, there is. Space Agon. Let me find it. Yep. I don't know why it says compare. I don't care about that. All I want is that. Bloom. Blam. Actually, can I just steal the Space Agon? Thank you. Cancel. Space Agon. It is actually a really good example. Beautiful. Actually, I can see as well. Let's have a look. Make sure that all's good. Space Agon. There we go. There are good instructions here. Yeah. It's not too bad. It's actually quite a pretty that runs a browser-based game with, there we go. Beautiful. Not bad. Beautiful. All right. That. What other fun stuff are we looking at? All right. Some scaling, network, performance, operating systems. What's on my list? Scaling. Just having a look to see if there's anything here I want to. Oh, that's a good one. It's kind of two of them. How large can an Agones cluster be, first of all? This is also an interesting question. Like, how many game servers can be sorted into a particular cluster? This is actually a good question. So this is actually really, so how large can an Agones cluster be? And the answer to this is depends. Question is, it depends. As a rule of thumb, we recommend clusters no larger than 500 nodes. Based on production workloads. That being said, this is highly dependent on Kubernetes hosting platform, master resources, size of nodes, size of resource requirements of your game server, that being said, this hard, yeah, exactly. Hosting platform, master resource, size of nodes, resource requirements, node resources, resource requirements of game server, etc. And therefore, you should run your own load tests. Yeah, node spin up time, etc. Against your hosting provider to determine the optimal cluster size for your game. And I think it's so true. There's too many variables. And no, it depends. So I don't know whether we should answer this particular question as well, which is how many game servers? I'm almost tempted to drop this. How many game servers can be supported in a single cluster? Just depends. It so depends. I'm almost tempted to just actually do this. How large can a cluster be / how many game servers can be supported in a single cluster? Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, we can run 10,000 game servers in a cluster or 20,000. Like, but if they're not sitting there doing anything, like, it doesn't matter. Resource requirements of game servers, game server session length is another factor. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's just really the best way to answer it. Like, there's nothing there's nothing special that can be done here to be like, yes, you know, you can run 10 million. Like I did, yeah. We recommend running multiple clusters for your game production game server workloads to spread the load and ensure redundancy, and to provide across your entire game server fleet. There we go. Nice. I like that. What are you complaining about here? Fix possible agreement error. Nope, you are wrong. Okay. What else we got? Ooh, operating systems is always going to be a fun one because you know what the answer to that question is going to be. Are Windows game servers supported on Agones? Actually, I just want to have a look at. Now, to answer that question, issues, Windows. There we go. That would be the issue to look at. I think actually I have an answer. Yes. Tools, here we go. Sorry, I'm just going to pull something here. Why is it not doing what I want? Fine. This is a good question. The answer is really right now, as of Kubernetes 1.15, Windows container support has been released as GA, and I have a blog post for that. Let me grab it. Copy. Let's have a look at that real quick. Yep, boom. That's lovely. Has been released as GA. That being said, Agones has yet to be tested with Windows nodes, with what do we call that? Window container nodes? What are they called? Window nodes. There we go. Windows nodes. And work on this feature has not been started. If you are interested in this feature and or contributing, please see this. Actually, what is it? It's please add a comment to the that's not it. Yeah. There we go. That's an easy one. We don't do that right yet. Scaling, operating systems, boom. Oh, I missed a spot. Lovely. Okay, that's looking better. I want to call it Windows Game Server. Is Windows Container. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that. That's feeling good. Anything in scaling that I like here? Oh, that was... Oh, no, we did scaling. I'm moving around a little here. Network. Boom, 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 boom. Network. Oh, that's a fun one. Okay. These are some good questions. How IP... How are ports allocated for game servers? Actually, I'm actually gonna take it now. That's not even that. Like, how is traffic routed from the port game server container? Yeah, that's a good question too. All right, so that's fun. That's a couple of fun ones. I have some of this. I don't have all of it. Let's steal this one. Each game server inherits the node IP of this IP address of the node on which it resides. If it can find an external IP address on the node that is utilized, otherwise it falls back to internal IP. Address, which it should if it's a public addressable node. Cool. Actually, I wonder if I can link to that about external IP. Kubernetes node external IP. Making sure no one's messaging me just like anything important. No, good. No. All right. Scaling network. Here's the IP address. Or allocated 2 rather than allocated 4. It's probably better English. How IP address is allocated to game servers. There we go. Each game server inherits the IP address of the node in which it resides. If you can find an external IP address on the node, it should if it's a public node, then it's utilized. Otherwise, it falls back to user control. Yeah, cool. I think I have some docs on this. Yeah. Let's have a look. Kubernetes host port. Nope. Okay, so that's not going to work. What I want then is Kubernetes reference. API reference, perfect. 118. I might go down to like 115 or something. It's fine. It's actually not gonna matter. Pod v1 core. Pod spec. Container. Boop. No, it's not container port. Where did I put this thing? Or is it container port? Maybe it is. Host port. Here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Traffic is routed to the game server container utilizing the host port. What do I want to call it? On a pods container specification. Filter that up. Nice. All right. This opens a port on the host node and routes traffic to This opens upon the host node and routes traffic to the container via IP tables or IPVS, depending on host provider and or network overlay. I think IPVS, that's all right, IPVS. Yeah, or IP tables. Yeah, that works. PBS. Is this what? I want to link to the right thing. There you go. I wonder if IP tables, Kubernetes will link me to something. No, that's fine. Host provider. In very West case scenarios, this routing can add an extra 0 point. C2 packets, but that is rare. The benefits we gain from network separation between game server processes, gain from the isolation, what am I trying to gain from the isolation that network server processes give us, such as the ability to run sidecar containers and the extra layer of security. This decision was made since as benefits we gain, benefits Agones gains from the benefits. Trying to say words. Oh my god. This decision was made. The decision was made not to use host networking as the benefits from having isolated network namespaces between game servers, between game server processes, give us the ability to run sidecar containers and an extra layer of security. Okay, between. Oh my god. Oh my god, my brain's not working. Decision was made not to use host network, because this comes up as well. Decision was made not to use host network down from having were well worth this level of this trade-off. The potential cost. Something like that? Okay. In very worst case scenarios, this routing can actually support most XGP packets, but that is very rare. Yeah, usually it's nothing. Decision was made not to use host network. Why did you use host port and not host network when building for your networking? Yeah, there we go. Sub question. Why not? Why not? Seems reasonable. Decision was made. Yeah. I don't know. The decision was made not to use host network as the benefits of having an isolated network isolated network namespaces between game server processes gives us the ability to run sidecar containers or retains. And an extra layer of security. Sidecar containers and provides an extra layer of security to each game server process. This was deemed. How do I want to say this? I want to say like this was like worth it. These two aspects are exceptionally valuable and worth the trade-off. Something, yeah, that seems sort of better. Continue using the host port field on game server pods containers. Yeah, this opens a port on the host node and routes traffic to the container via IP tables or IPVS, depending on host provider and or network overlay. In very worst case scenarios, this running can actually 0.5, but that is rare. Why did you use host port and not host network for your networking? The decision was made not to use host network because the benefits from having isolated network namespaces between game server processes gives us the ability to run sidecar containers and provides extra layer security to each game server process. These two aspects are exceptionally valuable and were deemed worth the trade-off. I like that actually. Finally got there. Okay, cool. Cool. That works for me. Which kind of, yeah. I'm trying to see just performance. There is a good question in here. Integration. Yeah, I'll put it in there. It's also one that comes up, which is like, how big an image can I use for my game server? The answer to that question is actually multiple gig. Like, it's fine. We routinely see users running container images that are multiple gigabytes in size. The only downside to larger images is that they can take longer to first load on a Kubernetes node. But that can be mitigated by managing your fleet size and auto scaling. And fleet auto scaling configurations to ensure this load time is taken into account. Basically what I'm saying is, like, if you know that your game server is going to take like a minute to load onto the machine, on node first load, and like what your node speed is going to be, what's your fleet auto scaling, then you know that like you may need to necessarily have a little bit more up front just because of that, but that's fine. Mitigated, I'll say managed by your fleet size configuration, fleet auto scaling configuration. Beautiful. Going to reference fleet autoscaler. Perfect. Yes. Let's actually do both. Where are we? Guides, reference, fleet autoscaler. Boom, 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 copy, path and context root. Blam. You, and then just run to fleet. Actually, yeah, fine. Do this like I'm lazy. Bang. Sure. This load time is taken into account on a new node's container initial population. Initial load. Load is better. Yeah. So look at that. Where's my FAQ? Womp. On a first load, but can be managed by fleet. Yep. To ensure this load is taken into account on a new node's container. All right, cool. Anything else in here? Yeah, I think we're okay with that. So I think this is another good one. How quickly can Agones spin up new game server instances? I can steal that. providers as well as your game server spin up. I'll call it can start. Ready start up time, and therefore we recommend you run your own load tests for your specific game and game server processes. Containers. Capabilities. Actually, I don't think this number would vary depending. So actually, like it depends, like on a. That I just stopped. Okay, yeah, that's true. Could vary depending on depending on the Kubernetes configuration. Always. This number could vary depending on the scaling requirement, at least the environment. For other providers, as well as Kubernetes cluster configuration and your game server, yeah. That seems reasonable. We've had that in clusters up to 10,000 game server instances per minute, not including node creation. This number could vary depending on the underlying scalabilities of our other providers, Kubernetes cluster configuration, and your game server ready startup time, and therefore always render a load test. So yeah, basically, yeah, it depends. It sucks. I'm sorry. I think that might actually be all the things I wanted to cover. Yeah, I actually think it is. Cool. That's actually really cool. How long have we been going for? What I want to do now is really let's have a quick look through, see what's going on. Actually, what we'll do, bear with me 1 second. I want to do something secret. I'm going to log into my workstation at the office. And so I can get it to do a bunch of testing of all the links that I've just added. And bear with me while I do that. Let me just log in real quick. Come on. You can do it, machine. I believe in you. Of course, now it doesn't want to let me log in, because why would it? That would be no fun whatsoever. Bear with me. Really doesn't want to let me get the thing I need. Huh. No, does not like me at all. Huh. That's actually really irritating. Let me try one more thing real quick. Though if that's not working, there's not a lot I can do. Let me try this. Yep, there we go. Come on. No, it really doesn't like me today. Alright, I'll let that run in the background and I'll pop back out. Working. So I don't. You can, at least you. Let's commit this. Ooh, I think we have a new commit dialog. Oops. Hold on. Bear with me. Restart IntelliJ because I started out on my widescreen and so now it doesn't know where my windows are. 1 second. Apparently there's a new commit dialog on here. I want to see it. I want to see what it looks like. Very excited. Oh, I saw some messages and I missed them. Okay, cool. Thanks for joining me. Glad to have you here. Alright. Ooh. This looks pretty. Huh. Gives us a nice view of everything that's different. What does that checkbox mean? Don't know. Alright, nice. FAQ for Agones. Wrote an FAQ for Agones based on user questions that have been received over time. Can't spell. Usual thing. Commit. Beautiful. Push that up. Lovely. We'll squish that down actually. Let's just put that together. Let me just see if that's up on my. Bear with me. Nope, I cannot get into there at all. Yep. All right. Something weird's going on. That's fine. All right. Worry about that later. Let's come back. Okay, that's been pushed up. Cool. I think I'm going to turn this into a PR, but actually we can. See how this goes. It's really going to take a long time. Yeah, it is. It's going to take a long time. So probably not worth watching it. We'll see how this goes. Oh, big stretch. Ooh, what was that? I kind of just would actually. I should build into this if I could run HTML test against an individual thing. If you're at all interested, what this is running is HTML test. I think it is. No, not test runner. I can't find it. It's a really nice little tool for running tests, and it'll go through all of it and check to see it. But the one thing I really like about it is it keeps a cache of things for 2 weeks, so it doesn't always hit every single endpoint constantly, which is super nice. You know what? Stuff this. let's make this actually do the work. Let's make our CR system do the work. Let's do a compare and pull request. I think this is, I'm going to call it a site feature. Actually, no, I'm going to call it a documentation feature. Not a site feature. That makes me feel good. Let's just have a look through it real quick. Make sure there's everything we like. Let's have a look. Agones creates a backing pod with the appropriate configuration parameters for each game service configured in the cluster. Yes, Agones is inherently unopinionated about the lifecycle of the game. When you call it protecting it. Typically, you would run one game server. Yep. How can I return an icon against the ready state? Yep. Yep. File. Yep. In engine, is part of the same palette. Saka. API, write to a shared file. Write to a shared file. That's why we're looking through it. Yep. And process would integrate. Oh. Such file that the sidecar process integrates with and communicates. And then communicate back to Agones through the SDK. Cool, that makes more sense. Wrapper, write a process that wraps the game server binary, intercepts aspects such as the foreground log output, and use that information to react and communicate with Agones appropriately. This can be particularly useful for legacy game servers or game server binaries wherein you do not have access to the original source. Yeah, yep, beautiful. What if my Angular engine ways to do? Either utilize the REST API, which can be generated from the Swagger specification, or generate your own gRPC from the profile. Game server SDKs are a thin wrapper around either REST or gRPC clients, depending on language platform, and can be used as examples. Oh, that's pretty nice. Game server allocation is spec.metadata section that can apply any configured labels and annotations to request a game server allocation time. Game server binary can watch for the state changes to allocate as well as changes to the game server metadata through SDK watch game server. Combining these two features allows you to pass information such as map data, gameplay metadata, and more to a game server binary at allocation time through Agones functionality. Beautiful. How can I expose information from my game server binary to an external service? The Agones game server SDK allows you. There's a comma there for like no apparent reason. The game server. What is it? What was I looking at? Expose. The game. Boom. No reason for that comma to be there. Game server SDK allows you to set custom labels and annotations to SDK and its functionality, respectively. This information is then queryable by the Kubernetes API with game-specific custom integrations. My game server requires more states than what Agones provides, e.g. ready allocated shutdown. Can I add my own? States, then you can utilize the game server SDK set label and annotation functionality to expose those custom states. Blah, blah, blah. Custom labels could also potentially be utilized for the perfect. How large can an Agones cluster be? How many game servers can we sort of cluster? Yep, the answer to this question is it depends. Should I put a smiley face next to that? I think I should. As a rule of thumb, we recommend clusters no larger than 500 nodes based on production workloads. That being said, this highly dependent hosting platform has research, etc. And therefore, you should run your own load tests against your hosting provider to determine the optimal cluster size for your game. Clusters for production games for workloads, spread the load, and provide extra redundancy. Each game server inherits the IP address of the node in which it resides. If it can find an external IP address on the node, which it should, if it's a publicly addressable node, then that is utilized. Otherwise, it falls back to using the internal IP address. Cool. JavaScript routers the game server continue using host port field in the port container specification. There should be a full stop there. Cool. This opens support on those host provider. In very worst case scenarios, we can actually suppose, but that is rare. Not to use host network is the benefit of having isolated namespaces between game server processes that run sidecar containers and provide an extra layer of security to each game server process. I've never found a good agnostic. Did I find one? Yes. I want to link that again. Beautiful. Containers and provide neutral and provides it. Yep. I'm gonna dump this line. Decided it's not worth it. We tend to see anything outside the library that can take longer to first load. To first load on Kubernetes node, but that can be managed by your scaling configuration. Ensure this load time is taken into account when new nodes. Yep. I could start. I think start's the magic word here. Up to 100,000, 10,000 game servers per minute, not including node creation. This number could vary depending on the underlying scaling capabilities of your cloud provider. Let's say your cloud provider. Yep, that should be container. Of I've had to come forward as the release is GA. That being said, Agones is to be tested with additional nodes, and this future work on this feature has not been started. If you're interested in this feature and are contributing to in the comment tournament. Yep, beautiful. Cool. I actually really like it. I'm actually kind of a really big fan. Let's chuck that in there. This is going to be awesome. Actually really excited about this. Where am I? Perfect. Can actually hit F5 on there. I think no, labels won't get kept. Feature documentation. I wonder, how big is this? That's a really good question. Git diff. 190 insertions. I try and keep my PRs under 200. That seems like a good number. All right. I'll kick that through. Hopefully I didn't have any broken links in there. We'll see how that goes. It'll tell me pretty quick if I have. Dane is not going to look at that. Size L. Okay, sweet. Awesome. All right. Well, that was lots and lots of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me while I finished that FAQ over the last couple of sessions. I'm going to run away. You can follow me here on Twitter. You can see me on Twitch. Here's all my things. You can see me on Twitch here at Mark Mandel. You can see me on Twitter at Neurotic, YouTube at Mark S. Mandel. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while I did all that work. That was nice to have company, especially at the moment. So stay safe, wash your hands, do all the good things, and I'll catch you all next time.